It was monotoned.
You're talking about baseball. You're talking about your favorite sport in the world.
Just imagine.
You represent. You're Mr. Baseball. You are Mr. October.
Just imagine Eddie's tickling you under the arms.
It's not pretend.
I don't like to be touched.
Pretend we're at weights and you have that screwdriver in the morning before. That's
Welcome to another episode of 3.5 Gentlemen.
Harry Carey here.
Harry Carey here.
Welcome to another episode of
Go for
3.5
it.
Gentlemen. Wait, we're a minute in.
This is the beginning, the opening scene. That's all this is.
He's stealing home and he doesn't see him. It's like, how do you not see him, man?
Who gets a base runner on third
Who
base?
keeps that fucking terrible hat?
Are you serious? That was one of the most important moments in his life.
Oh God!
Can we get
Should
through?
have thrown in the fireplace and listened to his friend.
Can we
Benny the Jet
do?
Rodriguez.
Let's start the
Welcome
podcast
to
before
another
we start
episode
talking
of
about
3.5 Gentlemen, the podcast, where 3 of the 4 hosts provide a refined and intellectual analysis of movies from our private collections, and one of us tries desperately to keep up. We'll let you decide which host is which, but for now, my name is Sean, and with me, as always, on the bench are my co-hosts, Jeremiah,
What up, fart smeller?
Eddie,
You're killing me, Smalls.
and Brandel.
I'm a great Bambino.
What?
What?
I'm a great Bambino.
What?
Oh!
Oh, the Great
the
Bambino.
Bambino.
I thought you said the Great Bambi.
The wimpy
That
deer.
wimpy-
The whippy deer?
This season, we've decided that each host will pick a film from each decade, from the 70s to today, that exemplifies that time period. Some of the films will be underrated, some classics, while others will be overrated piles of cinematic crap. To finish off each decade, the host will have a group pick that wraps up the decade in style. As with every review we give, our goal is to answer one simple question: how many drinks does it take to get through the film we just watched? At the end of the podcast, we'll rate the movie based on a scale of 0 to 5, 0 being the perfect film that you can watch stone cold sober, and 5 is the sort of film that forces you to pickle the beast just to survive.
Oh God, pickle.
In addition to our review, we always pair our selection with a cocktail that we hope will enhance the viewing experience. This season, we want to focus a little bit more on the cocktail selection, so
Do we,
please
though?
feel free to shake, stir, or mix the cocktail that we've chosen and settle in for what we hope will be an engaging review. With that, what do we have on deck for this evening?
On
Oh, I
deck.
see what you did. Actually, it's
Wow.
walking up to the
You
batter's
brought out all
box.
the cards today. Yeah, I like it.
Well, tonight,
Just a bit outside.
That's a I want to do that one. That's a good one. Just a bit out.
Shut up.
Bob Eubanks, just fantastic. Wait, Bob Eubanks? No.
no, Bob Eubanks. It's not the. It's
Bob
not the Rose-
Euchre.
it's not
Okay,
the-
just because
the
you're done
Rose Parade over
just
there.
because you're done with your part does not mean you can start talking.
seriously. We good?
I am
Can
the
I go?
host,
Can I go?
Eddie.
Can I go? I'm sorry. The host keeps interrupting us. The one only host.
Go ahead.
Okay. You sure?
You have my permission.
Okay. Tonight we have our final selection for our 90s films. This is our group pick, and it's the iconic childhood classic, The Sandlot. This 1993 film took us back to the summer of 1962, where the weather was warm, the pool was cold, and kissing the lifeguard made you a legend. I just want to go ahead and shoot this out to everybody. If I had read it from the script, this is where the weather was warm.
Worm. What's worm?
Like, are we talking about the dance, or are we talking about the little thing in the dirt?
Either way, it's good.
Okay, The Sandlot is rated a 7.8 on IMDb, which is shit low. Has a critic score of 63%. What the hell's wrong with people?
Because
the
people
script.
hate
We're going to go
baseball.
ahead and talk
Read
about
the
this,
script.
apparently. Proving yet again the critics are nothing but pee-drinking crap faces. An audience score of 89% of Rotten. You saw what I was going to say, didn't you? This is why you should read the script before you get to it. So Scotty Smalls moves to a new neighborhood with his mom and stepdad and wants to learn to play baseball. Bring in Benny, the Jet Rodriguez, the
The
neighborhood
legend,
baseball
the
guru.
man, the myth.
He really is. He takes Smalls under his wing, and soon Smalls becomes part of a group of local kids who spend their summers playing baseball at the Sandlot. Just beyond the wall of the Sandlot, though, there lives the Beast, who is notorious for consuming any balls that find their way over the fence. Over the course of the summer, the motley group falls into adventures involving baseball, treehouse campouts, a desirous trip to the local pool, a snooty rival ball team,
A disastrous trip. to
and
the
a
local
ride
pool.
at the traveling fair. That's all before Smalls gets the group in the biggest pickle anyone has ever seen. But I just wanna-
Forever.
Don't ruin it. I have it in the script in a different place.
Obviously. So, Jer,
In all fairness, by the way, I didn't write that one, so
Obviously you
those mistakes are
didn't.
not mine.
Before we get
but
into our
some of the
cocktail
words.
selection, we need to talk about whose film this is, and additionally, what our initial impressions of the movie were before sitting down to watch it. Since this is a group pick, I guess I'll start it off. Bro, did we watch this movie in the theaters when we were little?
We did. We watched it.
Wait, was
at
that
that time, it was like
at the dollar
$1.99 or it was $2.99.
Was it dollar theaters?
We watched it in. I think we watched it on release day, and then also at the dollar movie theaters, that was like 99 cents, right?
Yeah.
And then, but it's funny because the cost of a movie was what, $2.99.
No, like
Three-
it was like
three
a
and a quarter.
good solid $3.25.
3 1/4. I remember that being.
It was pretty
This
awesome.
was in 1993.
Inflation these days, that equals to $17 a ticket.
Well, I did say save 16 cents is 4th of July, so I feel like I can go to a movie.
There
We could buy 3 different. We could buy maybe 2 different baseballs.
I think we pretty much grew up with this film. I mean, this
did.
was the film that kind of started it all for all the baseball films. Without this, you don't get Rookie of the Year, Angels in the Outfield, Little Big League. So this movie kind of started off, and I actually think this was one of those movies.
Mighty Ducks came around the same time before.
No,
or
Mighty
after?
Ducks was 97?
No,
No, that was
same-
92, guys. Or 91.
No,
So before this?
Oh yeah.
Oh, you're lying.
No.
Yeah, he's right
I'm
about
getting
that.
my IMDb app.
He's
up.
right about that.
Show me my
IMDb.
Emilio.
Could you please,
Emilio Estevez.
1991, 1992.
92. God dang it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah,
You're wrong,
this movie's been in our lives for the longest time, and seriously,
It holds
yeah.
really high up in the library of, I think it holds, for me, it holds.
for it.
I'm going to take the
Are we
throne.
giving
from you.
our ratings
my,
now?
my, no, my
this is
review.
his first impression.
No, but
Did
I
you
was
not
like,
listen?
are we talking
It's
about
first
where it's
impression.
holding up.
Don't be
I
a
mean,
puss-eating
we're not talking about our last impressions.
Dude. Seriously.
Give our
You're
first
killing me,
impression.
Smalls.
Literally in my notes, I said I was Scotty Smalls growing up.
I can see
Growing
that.
up.
I can see that. You still have that hat.
Burn that hat.
The damn hat. It's
So-
the bill's out to
First impression, I remember
I
that-
liked it.
that this movie is something that I was hoping to watch. This is like season 3. I'm like, when are we throwing in Sandlot? Because overall, though, it's a movie that holds true to my heart. I was 8 when I watched this. I
Good
think.
job, math. You were
Was
probably
anything like
7
that?
because we both have late birthdays, so we were probably 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, unless you saw it after October.
Came
Brandon,
out
what
the
do you
summer
think?
70,
What
summer
was your
93.
first impression?
I don't remember seeing this one in theaters, but I do remember for some reason owning the VHS tape and watching this on
It used to
constant
be the one.
repeat.
It used to be the one
Yeah.
in the soft case. Remember
Oh, yeah.
the soft.
Oh,
like
yeah.
the plastic
Yes.
soft case VHS.
Still have
tape?
You mean
that.
It
those
was
Disney old movies?
perfection.
and
Yeah,
whatnot?
where it was like kid proof.
Yeah.
Still have that. You could like throw it and it would be still funny.
Yeah, no. No, I this is a movie that I'm going to talk about a little bit later, but it's a
really?
movie. Shut up. I'm not going to talk about it now. So, anyway, it's a great movie then, and we'll find out if it's a great movie now. But it's a movie that I think just when you think of growing up, you think of this movie. You just can't help but doing that, whether you played baseball or not. Sean,
So I probably haven't seen this in a good. I want to say a good 10 years. Like I hadn't.
No.
I know. I used to watch.
regret that
obviously when
decision?
well, yeah. Now,
Okay.
I sat down and watched it with my good friend's parents, and we literally sat on the couch and laughed and paused it like 10 times. Just the references. It made me feel like a kid again. So super excited to review it. I was super excited to watch it, and I think it's gonna be a fun podcast.
I agree with Eddie. When we were doing this podcast, we were just like, had certain films that we wanted to go like, hey, we should just add this movie to the list of things that we're going to be like reviewing and whatnot.
I was excited to watch it with my kids.
Eddie, take us through the cocktail.
All right. Well, as we mentioned earlier, with each movie, we try to pair the tone, feel, and overall impact of the story with a cocktail. This season, we really want to stress the cocktail and more and how it links up to a movie selection. And everyone who listens knows that when we finally watch a Bond movie,
Which we will do. We will do.
we will pair it with
freaking
a
us.
vodka martini, shaken that stirred with a lemon pill. But tonight's cocktail was a group pick, so Sean will be taking us through the cocktail.
All right. So tonight we have the You're Killing Me Smalls cocktail.
you said that just like ham.
First, you start with the Malo.
You're going to do it like his.
I was reading that, I was like, did he
Or in this
misspell?
case, the rim. You make a rim of marshmallow fluff. Then you grind up some graham crackers and dip
crackers.
them into the rim. To make the actual cocktail, you combine vanilla vodka,
Yum.
milk, cream de coca,
Ooh.
spiced rum, and ice. You shake it up and pour it in. Best enjoyed in a treehouse while listening to a clearly made-up story of a killer junkyard dog.
That was a real story. What? It's made up?
Be careful. You will feel like you can drink this cocktail
Forever.
For our complete recipe, you can visit our website at thegentlemanpodcast.com, or you can see it on our Instagram at the Dot Gentleman podcast. The dot means a lot, gentlemen, and I think we need to taste this delicious thing.
S'more what?
Cheers.
S'more what?
I haven't had anything yet.
I have anything. How can I have something if I have anything? S'more.
Oh, marshmallow fluff
I
sticking in my
love
lips.
marshmallow fluff. I love marshmallow fluff too much.
It sort of tastes.
It tastes like summer.
It tastes
No.
like summer.
Like summer nights.
It tastes like
Yeah.
you were
Summer
around a
nights.
campfire as a kid. Like it really does have that kind of
Tastes like
feeling.
Tastes like a chocolate milk.
Yeah, it does.
Tastes like a chocolate milk that's vodka in it.
like an adult s'more.
This is a grown-up drink.
Don't drink this at home, kids. All right, I think we should start at the beginning with a voiceover that I am usually hugely upset by. Right, I am not one who likes a narration
Was
over
his
the top
voice
of the movie.
not perfection?
It was the only
Perfection.
person that could have done better than this, in my opinion.
James Earl Jones.
I was thinking,
Morgan Freeman.
no, I was thinking, gosh darn it,
Michael Caine.
no, another
Kevin
old
Costner?
guy.
Oh, Brian Cox.
No.
God dang, it would have been perfect though.
Another
the guy
old
from
guy.
Point Break. No,
God, let's talk about Point Break real quick, everybody.
Hurry up.
Richard Dreyfuss.
Oh, Stand By Me.
Yeah.
You're going Stand By Me
Yeah.
style.
It
Yeah,
could've-
I can
yeah.
get you. Yep, that's
Yeah,
good.
Been there, done that.
So, did anyone else? Obviously,
Did you know the director was actually the narrator of the film?
I did not know.
I
that.
did not know
Yes, he
that.
was.
Oh my God, it's perfect.
So, did you know that the original? So, the game that he's narrating at the very front of the game, front of the.
You want to start that over?
Yeah, the game that he is announcing
At the beginning of the
is
what?
between what two teams?
Well, it's the Dodgers, obviously.
And the Giants.
God,
It'd have to be
yeah,
the
you always
Giants.
gotta talk shit about the Giants, bro.
Well,
All
I'm
the time.
guessing. I'm guessing. I haven't seen the movie in a while. Last night, did the Dodgers win?
I'm sure.
Oh, because they're playing the Giants.
Actually, we don't know that.
He didn't see him. I
He-
can't believe it. He didn't see
he
him.
literally, it's a walk-off steal.
Hey, did you know that was
game
actually
kept going.
Benny the
The
Jet
game kept
Rodriguez's
going.
older
So it
brother?
was like-
It's true. We
in
get
real life?
thumbs
I
up.
did not know
thumbs
that.
up.
Everyone
Yeah.
just said thumbs up. All right, now.
They didn't even hear it.
Then it's
You
a
didn't
walk-
hear it.
No.
I
You didn't hear that
give
fun
him my
fact.
gold nuggets
Yeah,
here.
he's peppering in these fun facts. You've got to listen.
I
'cause-
want to hear it. Wait.
The older Benny the Jet Rodriguez is actually the older brother of the actor that played Benny the Jet Rodriguez.
Mike Vitar.
Yeah.
What is he
My
like?
only
25
criticism-
years older?
And he should have shaved that mustache. That was a
No, that was a 90s
No,
thing.
that was
I
a
would have
90s.
rocked a
That was the end of his
mustache.
career.
Tom
mustache.
Selleck? Really? If Tom Selleck comes
That's
on
the
right
end
now,
of
you're
it.
gonna
Tom
look at
Selleck's mustache is unparalleled.
What
Yeah,
about-
true. He was actually Indiana Jones when they were writing
That's
the script.
true.
Do you ever see the end of someone's career in MLB? It's like, buddy, just show up to the game.
What
We're
about
good.
Sam Elliott? You're gonna look at him and say, "Ooh, get rid of that
Bro,
mustache."
there's another mustache.
That's kind of true, bro. Because I think about my
Magnificent.
favorite baseball players, and when you see the rookie card, you're like, "Fuck, they're so badass, amazing."
And then at the
And
very
then
end,
like
they're
70s porn
at the
stars.
very end of the career,
They're like all bald. They're all
Yeah.
huge.
yeah, they're just,
you know,
it's like Kevin Costner from For the Love of the Game, just showing up barely.
Oh, actually, that was one of my questions. That was one of my hypothetical questions. Ready?
Chapel.
What would have happened to the perfect game and For Love of the Game if Benny the Jet was on the Yankees
Oh, Benny the
playing
Jet
him
beats him every day.
every day?
Every day.
Benny the Jet is kind of like seriously a legend when it comes to Dodger fans because
He's
if
a
you go
legend.
to a Dodger game, you see his jerseys everywhere.
he's
It's the
also-
funniest thing, dude.
And he's also a legend with the females too. Like, there was
Well,
like
who
a
wouldn't
lot
be?
of-
Did you see that
there was like
mustache?
a lot of first crushes. I realized for
Dude,
the
A little
Benny-
tickle on that upper lip.
Yeah, jeez.
Come on now.
cool. On a little
All right,
Okay,
let's
you-
get into the movie.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
we've got
Do we want to do that though?
Yeah,
Because
we
I
do.
wanna talk about
No,
mustaches.
let's go into it.
mustaches. If we're going to talk about mustaches, then we're going to put Hercule Poirot has the best mustaches in the world.
No. By the way,
Let's-
it is plural.
Can we?
Mustaches?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's weird.
Okay,
Yes.
fun fact. Let's go.
Fun fact, education, guys. Go for it.
1962 summer. One of the things about this movie that I really love is the ragtag group of kids that are part of the Sandlot crew, right? So everyone is just like, my favorite thing is they're all saying how nerdy he is, Scotty Smalls. They're all fucking nerds. They're all these mishmash pile of weird kids who are out playing baseball in a summer.
Yeah, I agree with you, but they know how to play baseball.
But they're also
That's the thing.
They've
yeah.
also a group of the guys. So
They've
have
been
you
together
ever,
forever,
My
yeah.
thing is, have you ever moved into a new neighborhood and having to make new friends on like right before? So now it's not at Stroll's because your Stroll's over.
Yes, I did.
And I know Brandon did. I
Eric
don't
Sepulveda.
think you and I had to.
I never had
Yeah.
friends.
That's a lie.
That's
I believe
not
we
a
were
lie.
friends.
No, my buddy Eric Sepulveda. I remember going to a different town, different city, and he's the one who came to our house, and he's like, "Hey, man, you want to play some Sega
Basketball,
Genesis?"
Sega.
And I was like, "Yeah, dude, cool." And then we became best friends.
Yes.
Did we just become best friends?
Yes, we did.
I imagine
You
that's,
have a Genesis? What?
that's a real issue, though. I imagine for a kid who's about to go summer and he probably doesn't have a lot of friends moving in, and he's coming in there, and luckily he saw Benny the Jet walking down the street and just wave to him.
Well, there's a couple things that I think are really notable, but one of the things that I love about this movie is that by the middle to end of the movie, all of the kids in the group like have fully embraced Scotty. Like he's not just like the weird outsider still. Like he's one of the group. And I think that happens after. Well, I mean, it's this like building thing of losing the ball, and then they all band together for him. But in banding together for him, he becomes kind of embraced as one of them. I think that's really cool. But the other thing that I think is really neat is when Benny sticks up for Scotty the first time he brings him around. And they're all like, "He's a loser. He's a weenie."
L7 weenie.
Right, and he just goes on just like defense mode for Scotty, and I think
Bads on
yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, you look more like a duck. But like to me, it's so crazy because it's such an innocent movie. It's such a stupid, innocent story, right? And you see just good people being good people. Like there's no bad person in this movie.
I feel like I got a different vibe from this movie watching it at this side of adolescence, right? So when I was watching it when I was a kid, I remember thinking Dennis Leary was a dick. Like that his stepdad was just this piece of shit who never gave him the time of day, who was like and as I'm watching this movie, I'm like, oh my God, he's struggling just as much as Scotty is. No, think about this.
He's a jerk. Got to watch out for that curve.
He's not. He's not a jerk. Think about this. Scotty is...
They moved into
11.
He's 11,
okay?
and they moved to a new town.
Hold on,
with a new job.
No, they're 11. He moves in, has now married the mom, inherited an 11-year-old kid. He didn't have a little baby. He didn't have a kid. He had like a fully fledged young adolescent man living in his house. He's never been a father before. He has no idea how to be a father.
And that's something that's unheard of in the 1960s.
Right, and he's trying his best to kind of figure out how this relationship is going to work. He wasn't a jerk. He wasn't mean. He was scared. He was having just as much of a problem with it as Scotty was, and he didn't quite know how to play catch with him. He didn't know how to do
I get
it.
what you're saying. I did see, because we'd actually talked about it before I watched it again. You were saying the same thing to me about it. But I did see he's, and that's just his character, it's just who he is, and I don't think it's a bad thing. He's not a bad character. But like when he says, you got to watch out for the curve when he busts his eye open.
Gotta watch out for that curve.
Come on now.
Dude, I love the fact that he's like, give him a second. Let me just go in the freezer and get this big ass fucking steak.
And just smack it.
But I feel
Keep
like
that
that's
on
like
for
the
like an
50s,
hour.
60s
I actually think they're after
stereotypical
that.
dad move.
I think after that, playing the catch, the dad, he had no relationship. He was building this relationship. So what was able to build him this relationship is the game of baseball, and a father-son playing catch is a pastime that is just there.
And fast forward to when he leaves for his business trip. He tells Scotty, he's like, you're the man of the house.
Yep.
You need to like protect your mom. You need to.
Yep.
That was a big step
moment
for him. It was a big moment for Scotty, but it was also a big moment for the dad.
Yeah.
And I feel like when I was a kid, he was the villain of the story in some
If
respects.
you're going to call one of them,
Sure,
a villain.
I didn't mean like a villain like over.
Yeah,
like
I
Darth
know what you're
Vader
saying.
villain.
I never saw him as a villain, but I see where you're coming from on that.
Like he was always afraid. I felt like Scotty was always afraid of his stepdad.
Yeah.
He stole the ball because they needed a ball, not to piss off his stepdad. And then his whole world was crushed when he couldn't give that ball back. Like, oh my God, Bill's never going to love me again. He's never going to look at me again. He's never going to, But it created this dynamic that I think from this side of it is different watching the movie. It just hit me different. That's all.
You know the director's other movie before he did this one, bro?
What?
Radio Flyer.
Oh, I love that movie too.
Oh my God.
So he knows how to
Elijah
do.
Wood.
He does movies that are just like can really narrate from a kid's point of view, like when you actually have the fears and like kind of like hey, I'm making new friends, or hey, just like kind of like important situations like what you go through as a kid. I think he has a good eye on him, man.
This movie is a great movie of being able to see the movie through a kid's eyes, the lens, and then also having adults. Like this, it has both, like what Sean was saying, it has both layers here. But mainly when you're younger, it's just like, oh, you're watching it through a kid, and you could even from now, I could see that kid's point of view now. It's just funny how how they see the beasts as this big dog. They see it because there's stories about the big beasts.
Chopper, man, sick balls.
Yeah, so it's just there's everything with
All
the
I heard
stories.
was Chopper, sick balls. That's from Stand
Stand
By
By
Can
Me.
we talk about how his first? Go Smalls for running out to the field to say, "I'm going to plan on just going out there into somewhere out in the."
Have you
And
ever
to wear
had a
that hat,
friend-
man.
Have you ever
To
had a
wear
friend
that
that
hat.
did that actually?
Just
Just around the guy like, hey, I'm just going to hang out with you guys.
That's badass. Like, we can make fun of Scotty Smalls for being like this passive, kind of meek and mild and weak
so
person.
courageous.
He was ballsy going out there. Like, that's something I know I couldn't have done.
You don't see that.
So
No,
what's really
yeah.
funny is I was watching this movie and there's this thing going around from Elon Musk, and he talks about why he started Tesla, or no, why he started
Yeah.
whatever. No,
Tesla.
before he started Tesla, he started a web company. He tried to go get a job, and he was so awkward and nervous. He was standing in the lobby, like couldn't get a job, so he started his own company, so he didn't have to go get a job for someone else. Scotty goes out to this field not knowing anything about baseball and basically just shimmies his way in, realizes that they only have 8. They need a 9th guy, and he's like, well, I could stand in the outfield.
Let's stand somewhere in the very back, in like right, center, left field.
And he
This-
comes with that terrible glove. Oh, God.
the
Plastic
plastic
glove.
glove.
Everyone had
plastic
everyone
glove.
had the glove like that.
But there was a narration at this point of the movie where he's kind of out there for the first time, and he's describing this game. And one of the things that this movie, I think, does brilliantly is it links baseball to life. And there's so many great movies that do this, but when he talks about the way that they played, they never, it was never organized.
keep score.
And they just never stopped playing.
What I love about this is not a baseball movie, but I don't think that a lot of sports movies are movies about sports. But this is definitely not. It's not a baseball movie. It's about literally growing up, childhood, maybe kind of that growing into an adult. But really, more than anything, it's about embracing just the time that you have to be a kid. That's what this whole thing is. They all come up against their first big kid problem.
Well, and
right?
going
And
back
they
to
have to
Eddie-
figure it out how do they fix it.
Going back to what Eddie was saying, he moved into a neighborhood that literally he knew no one. He saw kids running over to this lot playing baseball. He's always wanted to play baseball. He just infiltrated their group and were like, "Hey, I'm here."
But what was really cool was the mom was actually making them venture out. Like,
Go
hey
get
man,
in trouble.
get in trouble, yo. Not too much trouble, but have fun out there, make new friends, And then you see him the next day actually getting asked by Benny to come over, and Benny's like, took him under his wing, which I love. Benny the Jet
Benny
Rodriguez.
is a freaking goat.
It's about friendship.
Yeah, it's about friendship. I think that's definitely what it is.
And Benny's one of those kids that I wanted to be when I was a kid. Like the way
looked
he
fucking
moved,
cool,
the way
man.
he was just a cool fucking. Like there's
open
and we're jumping
jersey.
around a little bit when they're playing the night game and the fireworks are going off and everyone's looking at the fireworks and he's rounding the bases. It's like that's a great fucking scene. It's just one of those.
It characterizes him so completely,
Yes.
without forcing it down our throats. And I think that I wrote this in my notes that to me, it is the best. Oh, right here it is. One of the greatest cinematic and patriotic moments, I think, is the 4th of July.
Oh, and Ray Charles singing the
with Ray Charles singing, and you got all of them stopping, but it shows exactly the priorities, I guess, and explains how and why they became what they became. Benny, he lived for this moment. He lived for this game. He was going to succeed with it. All the others, they were good with just being in Benny's presence, really.
I also liked the concept of, and I'm going to step on the third rail right now, but 1962 was a very difficult time in American history. You had the rise of Martin Luther King. You had the rise of the Civil Rights Movement. This cast is uber diverse. I mean, there are all sorts of different groups of people represented.
Yeah.
There was no fighting. There was not even a mention of it. Like I hate to say it, but I don't think this movie gets made like this today because there would be infighting and problem. It's like now it was a bunch of kids from a bunch of different diverse backgrounds. I always thought Benny the Jet Rodriguez was poor. I'm kind of thinking that he wasn't.
No,
I'm
I
kinda
don't think
thinking
so.
that he had
No,
money.
look at his bedroom was
bitchin'.
set up. Yeah,
Listen, he had PF flyers, yo.
yeah, and,
That's
and, that-
right, and brand new.
and
PF
brand new.
flyers
He was
at that.
wearing
Badass
PF
shoes,
flyers,
yo.
and then he got
Got
brand
that
new ones.
image in my head.
Yeah.
They also lived in the area of, I'm guessing, like
It was
the
the
nice
Valley in
suburbs.
California.
Yeah.
say,
Was it Valley?
I was
Yeah,
gonna
I
say,
was-
I
couldn't figure
yeah,
out
it
what
was-
it
San Fernando
was.
Valley.
was
It was
thinking it was like Cerritos of Lakewood. Or maybe
Oh,
Orange
maybe it was,
County.
yeah.
Long Beach.
No, I think it was literally the Valley.
I thought it was Arizona for
They
some
were
reason.
all. I think
They wouldn't be
economic-
playing in the summer.
No, but I think all socioeconomically they were on the same page. And the only conflict that we have in the entire movie, between
punk-ass
people
kids,
is
man.
the punk. And guess what? The conflict is all about who's a better baseball team
Right.
than the other. That's literally all it's about.
You're not good to lick the dirt off of cleats.
Because here's the thing, like you said, nowadays they roll
they
in.
make it about something
They
else.
would roll in. They'd be all in uniform. They'd be like, "We're sponsored. We are our travel team, and you guys are just
we're
a bunch of
Instagram
poor.
official.
Yeah, we're just a bunch of poor,
Wow.
poor player, whatever." That isn't even on the table.
Because Little
here.
League wasn't
Little-
there yet.
Yeah, I mean, Little League
so
was-
you had,
was-
you had
No,
Yeah,
it was.
dude,
It was there.
1962 wasn't there like how
yeah, it was. My dad moved here in 1966, and he was in.
wasn't
like,
there for everyone. Like not every town had Little League. Not every town had Little League.
They're in the valley, bro. They had little.
Didn't you guys have like didn't you guys have rivalries with other like little league players and teammates and things like that?
yeah.
Like other teams,
sure.
like those guys are from the Cubs.
It's like, oh, we're playing
Fuck
the
those guys,
Tigers
you know?
today. I remember we played
Yeah,
the Tigers,
dude.
and that was like
the other option,
Step
or
it
the
up.
other thing I wanted to say was that all the hats that they were wearing were all super diverse teams. Like you had the Reds, you had the Cubs, you
Scott
had the,
Smalls was wearing the Cubs hat at
You
one
had
point.
the Los
you got the
Angeles
Dodgers, you had the Angels, you had I think you had I
That
think you had
Angels
the,
hat was a '93
LA
Angels hat.
the Indians,
because I
yeah.
remember they actually changed their logo at that time.
They were Los Angeles. Angels.
Wait, the Angels weren't a team in '62.
No, they were the California Angels at that
they were
time.
the California
in
Angels.
'62 though. I thought they wouldn't come until like.
I don't know. Maybe it wasn't.
look it
Angels.
up.
I don't know.
Google that
I was
shit.
I was blown
GTS,
away by
man.
how not every player followed the same team, right? It was like,
Yeah.
and that was kind of cool too. Like you said, the open jerseys. Everyone wore
61.
Really?
different.
Oh no way.
Like different jerseys, different things. And what's really funny is they came to play. Like they were jeans and shirts, and it was a big deal. Like
Yeah.
they took it very seriously.
I love how they had more organization than most other like real teams. Like they it wasn't coming there just always. It was to play, but also to get better.
Yeah. Well, and I loved it that there's no coaches. There's no adults there to try to tell them what they need to do and what they can. It's about having fun as a kid.
Parents usually ruin
It.
sports.
Yeah.
And I'll
games.
never not love when Smalls runs the ball in from the outfield.
my God,
And then
yes.
Benny runs out there and tries to explain to him, how to throw a baseball. He goes,
Paper route?
You ever have paper route? He's like, I helped a guy once. It's like, who helps a guy with a paper route?
Have you ever done that? Have you ever done that? Like when you're playing like outfield when you're little, and like seriously, like someone was like, just hit the ball to me, and just like catch the ball, raising your arm right there, and you just go, and you catch it, and you're just like, oh, okay, let's do this.
So playing catch with my son, I sometimes
I play
just
fetch with
put your
mine.
hand out,
Oh,
ball,
you do it?
and just the ball would do the
You haven't
rest.
hit a spot since 1990.
Bro, obviously, you haven't never caught me.
No, but like that moment, right?
So did you Benny him right there? He's like,
I did.
I'm
So many times I had to, that's how I have to do in the very beginning, and after
Yeah.
a while, it gives them some confidence. But then it gets really hard when that's all you're doing the whole
Well, the
time
best
playing
part
catch.
is
I'm
no,
like,
you-
no, you really have to move your hand, bro.
no, you
Like-
have him stick his arm out, and then you
can't
throw
just keep your hand out there all the
You
time.
throw it right at his chest, yeah. No, but like I was talking about it, in that one scene where he's teaching him, I guess, basically to have confidence. That's all it is. It's not anything more than that.
Yeah.
But I remember when I was a kid playing baseball, starting out, I had so little confidence. I was surrounded by all these players that were, way more advanced and played longer than I had. And I remember like my parents saying, "Hey, you're Scotty Smalls. You think too much. Just go out there and just have fun. Don't think."
Silencio Bruno.
Silencio Bruno, which, by the way, great movie. # Luca. But no, I think that is such a cool scene because it's so simple. But I think so many people can relate to that, whether you're a kid or whether you're not. Is that you overthink things, and sometimes life is just meant to be freaking lived.
I mean, and this whole movie is about kids who are really overthinking everything. Like, there's not a man-eating dog behind the fence. They should have just gone and asked for the balls.
Yeah, but
like,
Squints
man.
Squints
Squints'
has the best
grandpa
plan.
was the cop,
He's
man.
been planning. He's been planning all his life. What did he say? I've been planning this for years.
Squints obviously had a story that was carried down from other generations that just provided the
Did
whole
you hear
background
it?
of the story.
yeah, I want to do a little bit on that whole story because the story was hysterical. It was like day after day, people tried to go steal junk from this junkyard, and they kept getting eaten. And the families
people
went
turned in
forward.
the thieves that they,
Yeah,
they
and I'm
haven't,
like-
we haven't been stolen from in a while. so-
I'm like, first of all, who's stealing from a junkyard? Like, I mean, I know that happens, but every day, like, enough where you're noticing the thieves
and
going
then-
missing.
and then
thieves going
other
missing.
people
Someone called the
contact the
cops about
cops.
the-
Yeah,
about the
they
thieves
were
missing.
missing thieves.
The family, the families of the thieves.
No, it was
Ethan
other people. It wasn't the
Bone and
family.
everything.
Yeah, it was.
Even the
family.
bone and-
100
yeah.
173 victims.
No, 120.
No.
173.
So originally, and then they left Hercules to a house. Right?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
Yeah,
chain him up.
my favorite Old Man Myrtle or whatever his name was. The guy who
Myrtle, yeah,
was it Mr. Myrtle?
Mr. Myrtle.
Yeah.
He was
Darth
white,
Vader.
and then
I
James
know, and
Earl
then he's
Jones
Well,
ended
no,
up being I'm like,
because that's from the doghouse.
so the dog is 100.
Not the.
Oh, the dog was like 200 years old. That's right. No, the dog was old.
Well, it would have to be because I guess if Squints' grandpa
In the
was
60s.
in the 40s.
Oh, in the 40s. No, it was in the
40s or
40s.
that's an
That
old
dog-
That's
dog.
an old
years.
freaking dog.
So I'm just letting you know there's a horror story in this whole like story about the Sandlot. So I'm pretty sure if you do like a prequel, you'll understand like, hey, there was actually a little like serial
Killing
killer
in
back
the
in the
50s.
in the 50s or
Just,
something.
James Earl Jones did say that no one ever got. That's the best anyone ever got. Hercules.
Yeah, so maybe who knows?
So let's go to the iconic scene where they
The
do
pool?
the sleepover.
Oh,
in the
yeah,
treehouse.
the tree-
well,
That's the iconic scene because I was thinking
No,
the
the
pool.
pool is
Let-
that iconic scene.
Hold on. In the treehouse scene, in a matter of 20 seconds, you have two of the greatest lines in movie history.
Want some more of what?
Yeah, and you're killing me, Smalls.
And you're killing me, Smalls.
Like
Yeah.
the whole it happens without breaking a sweat. It just goes.
Well, also, I mean,
that treehouse.
when I seen this movie, I
wanted
was
a treehouse
8,
too, man.
and I
Wanted
already
a
knew how to
treehouse
make
so
s'mores. But literally, okay, so true story.
It's more of what?
3 days ago, I made s'mores in the backyard with my son.
First time ever.
No,
Are you
why,
kidding me?
why are you being that
Brandon
person
Blythe's
right now?
fluffernutter by the.
I literally love
I do
it.
too.
But
I've
anyway,
been done it for a while.
literally, without thinking about it, I'm remembering the recipe of how to make it exactly and in what order.
First,
From Sandlot.
you roast the mallow.
First, yeah, I said those words
No,
to
actually,
my kids.
that's not even the
No,
first.
yeah, it is. First you roast
And
them
then
all.
when it's flaming.
And when it's flaming, then you take the graham. You put the chocolate on the graham. Then I don't know.
You eat it, of
No, you
course.
butchered it.
And then you scarf.
Yeah.
But the story of the Beast was okay. So here's where you could easily look at this movie and go, "This movie is dumb." No, it's just hear me out. So,
Oh, girl, no.
You've got a bunch of kids who are yelling and who are.
Oh, so the
It's a
Goonies.
kids movie. You
The
very-
Goonies.
that's the
Take
first
that,
thing I thought
Eddie's
of.
friend.
Wait a second. Time with them
Goonies
out.
sucked.
You cannot compare to this
No,
Goonies
they
and then
did
because they're
not.
both
You better
screaming.
take that
They're in
back.
this movie, Sandlot.
Shan't.
They're always fucking
You're like my
screaming
friend
and yelling.
said.
The Goonies is
Then
always
you have
screaming.
this breakdown of this story that Squints Palidorus
Yeah.
tells,
Doors.
something like that.
I love Squints.
He tells the story, and it goes to black and white. It goes to gritty film, and you have this obviously horrible, like overacting. You've got, I mean, when they throw the bones out of the trailer and
No,
they hit
the
that
thieves
thing,
are flung in the air. It's like a Marvel movie.
It's
But
Watch your mouth.
It's talking about the idea of like kids and what they go with
Their
minds.
imagination.
Imagination.
I am 100% locked into the story. I think it's magnificent. I'm saying where other people could see this movie and go, this is silly, this is stupid. I can see how, it's got a pretty bad critics rating. Pretty bad on
Yeah,
Rotten
I'm
Tomatoes.
shocked.
63%.
I know why.
Well, that was '90s critics for Christ's sakes. Fuck them and
And it
fuck
was
everyone.
Roger
over there.
Ebert. God rest his soul. But Jesus, come on, buddy.
I just think that this movie, to me, that was what made this movie great. Is it didn't take itself seriously. It did not at any point become serious. It was always heartwarming and wonderful, but it never hit the tones. Okay, let me rephrase.
I think serious may not be the word you're looking for. I think that it does take itself seriously. I think it doesn't dramatize anything. You know what
I
I'm
guess
saying?
it's serious for kids.
It's serious for kids, but this is, I mean, like you said, this was a serious time in America. This is a serious problem this kid's dealing with. Like he's just let down his stepdad, who he's trying so desperately to just not even reconcile, just to connect with. Yeah, just to connect with. So I think that it is serious, but at the same time, it doesn't make the serious more important than the fun of living and just existing.
There's a movie, and it's not even close, but I don't know if anyone has seen it. It's called Love and Other Drugs.
Oh, yeah.
And it starts off as this like hardcore comedy with Jake Gyllenhaal and the one you
Anne
don't-
Hathaway.
Anne Hathaway you don't like. And all of a sudden it takes this like turn and becomes super dark and like really serious. This movie could have made that turn at a couple of places.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
And
yeah,
it kept it super light but also impactful.
Well, and
Like, it didn't lose the impact by not becoming dark.
So, I mean, I know we're jumping around, but if you look at kind of one of the I think the three scenes that maybe stand out in everybody's mind is I do think the treehouse scene. The second is the pool scene, which we need to talk about.
let's talk
But the
about
third is the chase scene.
Right.
And the chase scene, I mean, if you think about this and you just like try and explain it to somebody, like this kid's getting chased by a basically rabid dog, at least they think so. Like that's Stephen King Cujo shit. So it's a serious
looks like
moment, but
Cujo.
you're right. They attack it though from kind of a comedic. That you got Wipeout playing the entire time. You got the cuts of
But
the
then-
Wolfman playing.
Oh, but then you've got the fence falling on Hercules, and then
Yes.
Scotty, the person who has literally got the most to lose.
Goes over there to save Hercules.
Right.
And everybody else is afraid. And
And
again, this
Benny.
shows Benny and how freaking great of a guy Benny is, that he's the only one that stands up and says, you know what, I'm going to help Scotty out.
Well, it's not every day that you get like kind of like a visit from the babe and
The
shit.
babe.
So I mean, you got to be like the guy, like, you know what, I'm gonna be a legend here and shit.
It just shows you. I mean, there's so many different stories of in here that just portrays of just with Benny hitting the ball and it's blasting it into like
Hitting the cover off
hitting
of
the
it.
cover off the ball. It going also with the pickle. You know, just overall just a regular pickle and before the pickle the beast. So the whole idea of just how the movie started with him with being the pickle.
Sets it up, man.
It sets it up. So many different stories of what baseball is about at the same time with a children's story. And I like how. I mean, right around this part is we didn't even talk about tequila or with the
Well,
with,
and I
with
was
that
gonna say,
scene.
the
yeah.
use of
I
music
guess that's
in this
four. That's
movie-
four iconic scenes right
There's
there.
the use
Throw
of
up
music
scene.
in this
Yeah.
movie is just is unparalleled.
It
When
has
he-
that
when-
American Graffiti vibe.
When
I was
they're
going to say, American Graffiti reminds me
when
of the,
they're at the pool
Yes.
and Squints kisses Wendy Peppercorn.
that magic
And I think
moment.
it's that magic moment.
Yeah.
This magic moment. It was the perfect song in the perfect moment. Like I will forever associate that song
Yeah.
to that movie. Just like I will always associate Ray Charles's America the Beautiful with the playing the night game.
Yep.
Just as I will always associate tequila with the
the
tilt
vomit
a
scene,
wheel.
yeah.
It's like those are emotionally triggering moments to me that bring me back to those moments in this movie.
And I think Wipeout with the chase scene. To me,
Yes.
I'll always think of that.
Two things about that. The one with the whole kissing thing in the pool, you know, they kept telling the kids, Squints, to stop, you know, to keep your tongue in your mouth. Because he
In
would
real life?
always try to fucking French kiss that fucking girl. He would always try to find a way to do that. It
Well,
was
who
so-
wouldn't? It's Wendy Peppercorn.
It's funny though. Even before they set that up, it was like moments before they went to the pool. It was a hot day, and she comes walking down, and she sees obviously two
Lotioning and
boys.
oiling.
Yeah,
and I love
Can't take it anymore.
You love that scene when he's walking and he
bought the-
looks
they
at
bought
his
the
friends.
ball.
He goes, you know, like he's
and
like
literally
got
the fact that at the end they're married and they have
Nine
however many-
kids.
nine
children.
and they own the
just-
pharmacy.
Yeah, the pharmacy. Like to me, that's such a stupid but beautifully perfect joke.
And I've heard a couple of podcasts on this. They talk about how inappropriate it is for the kid to be. It's like, get over yourself. It's a 9-year-old kid, 11-year-old
I'm gonna say
kid.
no, they're
He's
12,
12.
she's 12 years old.
He's
dude.
12 and
I
she's
know.
17.
And yeah, he copped a
She's
he copped a
17, he's
kiss.
12.
He shouldn't have done it.
No, I
Like
mean,
there's different like legend moments in this movie.
Yeah, and that is you'll always. I mean, what was banned
Oh,
from the pool the
heroes,
entire rest
yeah,
of his life?
heroes are remembered, but legends never die.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, you know, and sometimes you got to celebrate when you beat the shit out of like a punk ass team with cha. I've been saving this moment for a
That's
long
another
time.
scene where they beat the crap out of their team.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, there's another piece of music that was magnificent. It was
Yeah.
Spirit in the Sky.
Yeah.
And that scene when they roll up on their bikes and you've got the side view and all the bikes
Oh, the
come
bikes
up
just
and
come
then
up.
all them walk up on.
I
oh
love
my
that scene where you
God.
just
Just
see
even
them
looking
all
at the
sitting
cleats
right
and then
there
looking at the
next
other
to
with the
them.
shoes.
And it's like they even have shirts out for that scene, like the squad,
Yeah.
you know, or something like
I
that.
have a shirt that says the squad.
Oh, that's your shirt.
that's my shirt. Yeah.
So one of the negative aspects, and I think Brandon will back me up on this one, is the
overuse
of
the
term
word
pickle
pickle.
and the importance of a pickle.
So in case you don't know baseball too much, if you play baseball or if you know baseball, nobody really gives a shit about a pickle, right? We don't care if you're in a pickle.
Depends.
And
No,
we never called it a pickle. It was called a rundown.
It's a rundown.
The problem is that I totally agree with you, but Benny was a legend. He's like, oh, he's gonna get himself in another pickle.
No, it's-
he will
it-
get
But
out
the
of it.
thing
It's-
is,
it's
but
called
the
a-
thing is they overuse the word pickle, and the biggest, and they emphasize the biggest pickle. Of
Okay, so
our
are you saying that
lives.
every time they're seeing pickle,
never
they
use
go
the
in
word
and wink at
pickle.
you
Biggest
like,
pickle.
Hey,
No,
the
we
biggest
used to
pickle.
play the game pickle.
That's all it is.
The biggest pickle.
Everyone played the game pickle after this movie.
It was not necessarily the pickle in general that I have a problem with. It was the use of the
word
word
overuse
pickle.
of the word pickle.
Every
Literally,
5 minutes. That was
Well,
the summer.
well,
We
you
got
guys
into
used
the
to
play
biggest pickle.
You guys used to play pickle back in the day?
Oh,
I
yeah,
did play
everyone played
pickle.
pickle.
Oh yeah,
No,
for
we used
sure.
to play
That
butts
and
up.
pepper.
No, I played butts up.
Pepper,
for sure.
Pickle.
pepper and pickle.
Yeah.
Pepper.
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 You used to play
Butts up.
butts
pickle.
up over the line.
Pickle. There's only. I was telling Sean off mic that there's only one thing in this movie that is just not perfection, and that is just pickle.
The overuse
The
of the
overuse of the word
pickle.
pickle.
I don't
So,
You know what? You're wrong, Ed.
No, I'm not.
So
You're
let's
wrong.
talk.
The whole idea was that the
You know,
whole
go ahead
movie
and
is
write
that,
an email and
why
just
do you-
blast
why
me
do
and
you-
Sean for hating pickle.
Why do you not like
Don't lump me
pickle?
with
Were
you,
you
brother.
never good at pickle? Is this the
That
Oh,
was super fucking slow.
reason? And Sean
full
also wasn't
circle.
good at pickle.
I was
Sean
great
would
at
just
pickle.
hit home runs.
What are you
Sean
talking
never
about?
was the runner. He was
Oh,
always.
excuse me.
He was
Excuse me.
always third base over there.
Yeah.
You were the
Yeah,
third
but-
base player?
I stole a bunch of
In college.
That's all that matters.
No, it's the emphasis of the word pickle. It's laughably bad.
Who was your favorite childhood baseball player?
Laughably good.
Chuck Finley.
No, not your favorite player. Your favorite childhood baseball
Yeah,
player.
Chuck Finley.
Seriously, the same fucking guy?
Well, yeah, he was a
Okay,
god.
okay. What about
He's a
yours?
god to me.
Chipper Jones.
Oh, he's a good one.
You barely knew him. You were thinking Frank Thomas, weren't you?
Frank
the
Thomas.
Big Hurt?
You know who was
No.
great was Jim Tomey.
No. So you know who?
You know he pointed the bat at the pitcher.
So I have
Like,
two.
and I like Cal Ripken.
I have Dose.
Oh, good one.
Okay.
I saw Cal Ripken play
He's still
live.
my fucking player.
Perfect.
Well, we have the same.
We
The
were-
kid.
The kid, King Griffey Jr.
Oh well, yeah.
Oh well, Griffey. You had also.
You don't-
he was
you
like
don't-
Best
Style.
swing in baseball.
Everybody.
Style.
Oh man,
with
and
Griffey.
he used to like wear that hat backwards, and you just wanted
yeah,
to be
dude.
fucking Ken Griffey Jr. He
I
was
wanted
the
to be
greatest-
left-handed.
I wish I was left-handed.
Everyone had a swing like that after. Yeah.
Oh,
you can-
and everyone had
Everyone
their
wanted
Griffey-
his cleats and his shoes.
Oh my gosh,
Oh.
fantastic! He was the Michael Jordan.
He
of
was the
baseball.
Michael Jordan of baseball.
What was your other second one?
it was a pitcher.
You can tell us.
Nolan Ryan.
So I used to love
He
watching.
finished before we really got into baseball.
I
Nah,
love-
dude, I remember him beating the shit out
A
of
legend.
Robert Ventura, man.
Yes.
Robert Ventura.
Fucking
Yes.
nailing him in the face.
I remember
Legend.
it was Glavine and it was Tommy Glavine,
Maddox.
Maddox,
Maddox,
and
John
Smoltz
Smoltz.
on the Braves because Braves was my favorite team when I was growing up.
Yes.
Yeah, no, they were terrible.
Yeah.
but
Oh no,
Deion
they
Sanders
were.
was on the Braves.
Deion
Huh?
Sanders.
96. I think
Deion
that they
Sanders?
won.
They won. They won.
I don't remember
They
that.
beat the Indians.
Yeah, with Tommy. Yeah, I love Tommy.
Anyway, so 98 cents for a brand new ball. I thought that was funny.
that was adorable.
And let's talk about the
Look
shit
around for
talking
bottles
of Ham behind the plate when they're playing the.
his album?
So that's one actually the
is that
bad
your sister
reviews.
out in left field?
That's one of the bad views I
Naked?
actually get.
I
of
was
this.
as ugly as you. My dog
Why
was
is it
as
a bad
ugly as you.
review?
I'd shave his butt.
Realistically,
I
and
love
I've realized this now. So I think we just grew up in that like a little bit tougher era than it is now to this day. But hearing a lot of the reviews, watching it on
Yes, yes, we
the
did.
language is actually some should be saying it's a little bit over the top
Oh,
with bad
get
language.
over
It's
it.
a bad language. Oh,
Oh.
get over pickled in, you dick.
Pickle is a word. They say
Yeah.
shit like 4 times.
I know, but and for a child to show it
They say
like
shit twice. They say shit twice.
But I'm just
And by
saying-
the way-
Sorry.
No, no,
Wait,
shut,
wait, wait.
Shut it.
I'm
No,
missing this
both
shit.
times. Both
There's a
times.
lot of reviews.
Both
I'm not
times.
saying I like
I'm
it.
telling you, Ed,
I'm not
the
saying I like
best-
it.
Wait.
The greatest line in that whole thing, okay, was when Squints
Oh, yeah, say it or
kisses
just-
Wendy and literally Timmy or Tommy, I can't remember which one, goes, "Oh shit!"
No.
literally, that's the perfect use of language.
He goes, "Oh, he's in deep shit."
"He's a deep shit." That's what it is.
Wait, what are they getting?
It's,
Bitch,
it's the too much bad language and also too much sexy stuff. That's all I
Fuck
see in
that
the reviews.
person.
I
Fuck
see
that
reviews
you know,
of that.
and you know what? I'm going to say shame on everyone who looks at this movie and sees the language and the
too much sexiness.
sexiness.
Eddie, I
I'm
know
sorry.
you're the
Me.
messenger, but we're shooting
It's
you.
not me.
No, I understand. I'm just saying
Right, Eddie.
that's
but
bullshit.
if it's on Disney Plus, then fuck it past the fucking
Yeah.
the
and,
censorship.
and even
man.
if it's
Come
not,
on.
I'm sorry, it's bullshit. Get over yourself.
not
I
watching
agree, I
Showgirls
agree
here.
with you 100%. They say shit 3 times, and they go, and they don't even say butts, ass, fuck, dicks, fuck, nothing.
I mean, in a
You know,
world,
what
in a
the
world,
fuck,
where,
dude?
in a world where we have a half society who glorifies
Blink-182
That's
song.
a good one.
50
Motherfucker.
Shades of Grey, I think we can deal with the Sandlot. Go fuck yourself. I'm sorry.
Literally, that person.
I hate this
Can you
generation.
do me a favor?
I'm
Wait,
tired
wait,
of
wait,
this fucking
wait.
generation.
Ed, name the person. What's her name? What's his or her name?
Written by a
64,
parent
you're-
of a 5, 7, 9, and 11
Michael
age.
64,
Too much
you're a
bad
piece of
language.
shit.
Yeah, maybe you
You're a
should
piece of
be
shit.
a better parent.
Be a better parent.
And then another one. There's
to
another
them.
one
You're
that's
singling some fucker out.
I
other
cannot
one,
wait for Michael
parent-
64
parent
to have
of a 2-year-old. It says, and this was written by Mel.
A 2-year-old shouldn't be watching this fucking film.
They don't understand what's going on.
They gave a 4 out of 5 stars, saying it's still awesome, but it was a little
2-year-old
uncomfortable
can't
with the set scene,
understand the words.
chewing tobacco use,
Oh
and
my
cuss
God.
words thrown out.
And they all got sick. It was a great
Throughout,
message.
And they
It was a
actually
great
was
message.
licorice they used in the movie, not fucking shit.
And guess what? I
Get
never
the
did.
fuck over
Guess what
yourself.
I never did. Tobacco because of this.
I never did tobacco either because of this.
True story.
I did actually.
What's that person's name?
She gave a 4 out of 5 stars.
A whole
should be 5.
generation of
Should be
people
5.
did not use tobacco because of this movie.
Thank
because
you,
we were
Sandlot.
afraid to puke 360.
Thank you,
So
David, Mikey, Mickey
So that's what I was
Evans.
trying to
Yeah.
say is like, I felt like our generation, we took it and we ran with it. We knew what was bad and good. Like even from like seeing Chaw, I was like, hell no, I'm not taking Chaw. If that's
You
what's
know what
gonna
else I
happen.
never did? I never kissed a girl at the pool because I was terrified to do that.
That's
So,
what everyone-
You know what?
Really
I
never
would say
dove in the deep
this
end.
movie-
Never dove in the deep end.
To be fair, chlamydia got me away from that. So
So I would always, I had no good lifeguards to kiss. Like,
there's always the
it
male.
was like, shit, is there no other guys here besides these
Steve's
people?
there. Steve's up there, and there's George.
Why does my lifeguard look like that?
That guy's not going to save me.
My lifeguard was like a 75-year-old Angela Lansbury type.
Yeah, but Sean would totally fake
Oh
it
no, I
down
would have
for
gone
Angela.
after her in a
Oh
heartbeat.
my god, you still would. If Angela Lansbury was your lifeguard right now, would you? Oh, no, no.
1,000%. If Angela Lansbury came through the door right now, you wouldn't see me for.
I
Like,
know.
Do you guys like how old school, like Babe Ruth, in this movie a lot? Babe Ruth, like the great Bambino,
Yes,
like
and I
calling
am
out the
not
shot.
a huge Babe Ruth fan.
But
I think that he's.
it
over.
showed you that at this time, this is 62. Babe Ruth died in 48.
Yeah, let's also
48
back up and say
And
this
he
movie
is
was
iconic
hold on.
to baseball,
and this
for
movie was
sure.
made in the 80s. This was prior
was
to
93,
I'm
probably.
sorry. Excuse me. I'm sorry.
93.
90s. This was prior to Barry Bonds breaking the record. Prior to Mark McGwire.
Well, I
breaking
just would
the
say
record.
Mickey Mantle should be.
But I'm just saying that it's prior to all the new players that came.
But they
forward.
give that
Yeah.
cool little hand, like, "Oh, what is this card? Can I keep
Hank
it?"
Aaron?
Was it Hank Aaron?
Yeah,
Rookie
that was
card?
pretty fucking cool, man.
that was cool, but also I think it sets up. And no, I think Babe Ruth is actually the perfect. I personally think Babe Ruth is overblown, but I think it's a perfect one for this one because he's iconic. People who don't know baseball know Babe Ruth, but it also sets up some lady, Baby Ruth, right?
right.
It sets it up perfectly. You know, got the Bambi joke. I mean, so it sets up a lot of things.
So to progress in the storyline, we get to a point where
Why
Benny
even
the
try to
Jet-
go
because I
narratively?
want to talk about this scene. Benny the Jet Rodriguez knocks the cover off the baseball.
Mm-hmm.
Smalls says he's got a baseball at home.
What an idiot!
Idiot. They go. He steals the Baby Ruth. The Baby Ruth
Babe Ruth.
baseball.
I would steal a
Fucking
Baby
knocks
Ruth.
it out of the
Is
park,
he an
dude.
idiot, or is the dad and
No,
the mom an idiot
Smalls
for
is
just
an
saying,
idiot.
"Hey, this is Babe Ruth's ball. Don't fucking touch this
Smalls
ball."
is an idiot.
My mom, a grown
Yeah, my door would have
girl.
been locked. My door
Yeah.
would have been locked.
So basically, they use the ball, goes over the fence to the beast, and then you have the dream. This dream sequence gave us, I think, one of the greatest lines in childhood movie history, which is what, Brandon?
Heroes will be
Remember.
remembered.
But
Legends never die.
Yeah,
Jesus.
I
That's
should
the
not have
Legends
gone to
never die.
him.
I would.
Eddie, what is the line?
Heroes are remembered, but
Legends never die.
Eddie, follow your heart to it.
Follow your heart. Kid.
So think about this.
You never go wrong.
But think about this, okay?
Say the right.
Fucking nailed it, dude.
Say my name. What's my name?
What's my name, bitch?
And then he knocks on the window. Sandlot. I got a dream.
Yeah.
So think about this, okay? So just from a meta, I don't know how do you explain it. Benny was the only one who made it, other than the pitcher. The pitcher got to like AAA.
AAA. Yeah.
But Benny made it because he took this massive risk of pickling the beast. Like he was so dedicated to baseball
that
he right. And this is it's such a life lesson, right? You've got to make the leap over the fence and face the beast and pickle the beast in order to get what you really want. And I think that for a kid growing up, there is no greater life lesson. So fuck you
So
all people
fuck you,
who
Mike.
have trashed this movie.
And sometimes in the end, you get to meet Darth Vader. What the fuck, dude? It's the best fucking
What I'm
reward
saying is
ever.
there is
Yeah.
no better life lesson than having a summer with friends.
gotta take a chance.
Building all these different things to try and fix a problem.
good friends, too.
Great friends, but look at how many apparatuses they built trying to get this ball back. And finally, they just had to face facts. They had to grow up
Face
and
it down.
pickle the beast.
I love that
That
whole-
is a great message.
I love that whole them trying to figure out different ways to get in this ball.
Oh,
that was
so
like
good.
one of the best.
Was it
parts of the
science
movie.
against man?
Yeah.
My
And I
favorite
love
was
Squints every time
yeah,
he's
yeah.
the lookout.
What was
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
Timmy or Tommy with the dust all
yeah,
over
the
him?
vacuums.
We've
yeah.
been going about this all wrong.
I blame
That
myself.
is so fucking hilarious. And
then I love
like the most underrated fucking kid
Yes.
in that movie, dude.
Well, and
Yeah,
I love
yeah. With,
he's a bungee jump.
He just ended up. I wonder where he got the bungee jumping from.
No, okay, so I want to go back, though, because I always thought this, and watching it again, and it had only been a couple months since I've seen this one the last time, but I don't understand Scotty's thought process for going to get that ball. Whether it's a signed ball by
he
anybody.
wanted to keep the game going. That's
I know,
all he
and
thought
that's what I was
about.
telling myself, and I wrote it in my notes, but I still don't believe it.
because he
Like
wanted
that.
to still be cool with his friends, his brand new friends.
I-
What
You
did he
got a ball?
expect to happen, though?
Well, so here's the thing.
A dirty ball?
So no, but here's the other thing. I'm
just
going
a
to tell you
ball.
right now. If he would have just asked his mom for the 49 cents, she probably would have given him the damn 49 cents, and he could have bought a ball.
Oh,
at the
for
shop.
sure.
Because that woman was like, "Go out and play. Get the hell out of my house." She said, "Oh, you need 49 cents? Here,
I need
here's
my
the
glass of
couch.
wine.
Go
I need
go
my glass
sit."
of wine.
Son, go outside.
Yeah.
I'm
So-
thirsty.
And all I can think about, like, if I was the adult in this situation, and my kid was going out and playing baseball every day, I would have this like jar of coins that I would dump every coin I had to let them
but
go.
do you
play
think
the
that she
game.
even knew where he was going?
I don't know.
I think,
and
uh,
here's, but hold
I
on,
think she was
let me
just
finish my
excited
thought.
that he
Yeah,
was out there making
Because
friends.
in my head,
Yeah.
I'm like, I want to support you. I want to make sure you have balls and play. I think part of what was so cool about being a kid in this time period, which is
do want to
this
talk
is
about
where
that, yeah.
all these kids in this movie were our age.
Yeah.
They were
Yeah.
all our age. I was like, I remember losing the ball and having to stop playing and having to figure something else out to do because we no longer had the ball.
You got to play the tennis ball. For the
Right,
rest
you
of
had
the
to
damn day.
figure it out. Like,
Fucking awesome.
And I think that pivot, that maneuver that we had to do as kids, that we didn't get what we wanted, we had to like figure it out on our own. I think that was super important. Nowadays, that's not how it is.
Well,
Like,
they don't
kids
even go outside
struggle.
anymore, man.
Well, look at how, and
go
I'm
outside
watching
for
it
5
laughing.
minutes.
yeah,
because
that's
I'm
it.
thinking,
5 minutes.
Right. I mean, Ed, we got kids, and in a couple of years when they're old enough to go play outside, are we going to just be like, hey, go and come back at
Spoiler alert, they're
sundown?
old enough now.
Okay, anyway, are we right? Like nowadays, things have
There's
changed
more
so
of a-
much since 1962, where you can't let a kid go play
Ride their bike
for
down the-
hours
down
and
the
hours
park.
and hours without knowing where they're going.
We were, as long
I
as we
agree.
were home before the sunlights.
No, I
Exactly.
agree.
And
there's so much.
streetlights.
There's
And
so
it
many
is-
different.
It's different now.
It's
Yo,
different
totally.
now with kidnappings, and it's out there. It's really out there, strong.
Even in
It
the
gets
90s,
more
We're
and
we
not
were
more.
doing
scared
Taken
shitless,
yet.
you
We're
know?
not doing Taken yet.
Yeah.
I mean, but I
Isn't
agree.
that's a
so
shame.
but what I was thinking,
Yeah.
like, if you're in a good neighborhood and you want your kids to, but that's why I was with my kids. I want them to connect with their teammates, and we try to meet up. So we do stuff like that. And he's only 6, so there's no phones for anyone. So we try to the parents exchange contact information, and we try to meet up as best we can at places. But you hope, and I hope, in thinking in my life is like, well, I hope they just like grow into it and like stay connected. I was hoping for one thing here also with the whole Benny the Jet Rodriguez.
What's going on with Benny the Jet
so-
Rodriguez?
Oh no, it was Scotty Smalls. So Scotty Smalls, I don't think I would have been as mad to this day if it
He
was.
lost Babe Ruth
I have a lot of signed balls, and if my kid starts,
from Babe Ruth.
it's a ball.
Yeah, I don't know.
I
about
wouldn't
that,
be
bro.
as mad. I'd be like, hey, you lost it. Okay, I don't know. I just wouldn't be as mad. Sorry.
He just needs to get me to make sure he gives me like the 1927 New York
Murderer's row ball, for
Yeah,
fuck's sake.
Yeah, that's what that.
No, I get- I
I
get
think he'll
what you're
be
saying.
on
It-
like grounded
Just,
for a month.
if it's something really I didn't want my son to touch, I will let him know. And this is why I feel like,
But
Janice,
when
as Bill,
he's 11,
I mean, but and look what he did. Okay, so look at the lines, and we're skipping ahead because I still want to cover the pickle at the end. But the lines that he said is, "My dad was really mad, and he grounded me for a week, not a month, not a year, a fucking week for destroying his prized baseball."
his ball that his.
but
father
what would have
gave
happened
him.
if he didn't get the other ball?
It doesn't matter. The point
It would have only been a week, though. Is what I'm saying.
Because he actually took. He was probably more impressive that Scotty took responsibility of actually retrieving a ball for him and everything like that.
Like, I get
and
so
I think
much-
it was more out of respect
I
than
get so
anything.
much joy out of my life when my sons do something wrong. They come up to me and tell me the truth before I find out. I'm like, oh, that's a big moment, son.
What does that
I like
feel
it.
like?
It
Because
feels
my
amazing.
6-year-old does not do
Really?
Life lessons.
Do you kind of tell me like, oh, that's so
like-
great.
So
now you're in trouble now.
No, the trouble is way less, and he comes up to me before I find out.
Well, and this whole movie is centered around the fact that kids do not know what parents are thinking. Like, it makes me laugh when I look at what the kids, their thought process, their whole life is based on the fact that they could have just gone over and asked him for baseballs.
Yep.
Like, how terrifying of a world do you live in when you can't knock on a door? Hey, my ball went over your fence. Can I go get it?
So you're gonna talk about the pickle?
Yeah, I want to talk about the pickle, and I want to talk about a couple things. So, number one, I got a thought that the dog was like Terminator. He just kept coming.
Or Michael Myers, which is the stupidest movie of all time.
But
Our
what do
fans
you
don't
think?
think so.
Cinematographically speaking, it is.
Do you think that there was any significance?
It is the number one movie of our podcast, by the way, folks.
Until
Hey, guys,
until,
let's go
until
ahead
last week, 2 weeks ago. My question is this: do you think there was any significance that the director chose Wolfman as the movie to play behind this beautiful pickle scene? And
Well,
why?
yeah, it's because it's this idea of the monster that we create in our minds of a dog is going to attack us, and it's this monster beast, which is what they've made it out to be the whole time. And plus, it's a badass moment when during Wolfman the dog rips through the screen. I mean, that's badass. It's fun.
Except for that one line. Even when I was a little kid, like, ooh, look at that doggy.
Look at that
mommy.
dog. Ooh, big doggy.
I fucking hate that one, dude.
Oh, I love
It's
it.
cute.
I love
I
it.
just don't. It's just,
the chase scene. Okay, so I will say that they should have used, and they probably couldn't use it, but they should have used the wah 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 when they were doing because that music.
they only had so much money for
when-
film.
when-
That's
Right.
funny.
when he
That's
was
funny.
looking
When
at
he
the
was,
beast?
yeah, it should have. I got such a good, the bad, the ugly
That would've been
feel, and
pretty
they
fucking
should have
cool.
used it, but
Oh,
they
yeah.
couldn't.
Instead
have.
of it used the whistle. Like, or
It just didn't really.
with
yeah.
the bullwhip.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool,
I
man.
liked it.
But no, it just could. It should have been. It should have been.
You know
the-
that spinning thing when they were throwing up? The song was actually supposed to be Wooly Bully, but they didn't have the rights for it, so they had to go with tequila and everything like
Tequila
that.
was better.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for
Sometimes
sure.
they hit in situations that you wanted.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
in Spirit in the Sky,
Yeah,
like they had
you-
great
you know.
songs and great representative songs of the moment. So,
Let's talk about James Earl Jones and like fucking just.
He doesn't like baseball.
He hates baseball. He's made two of the greatest baseball movies ever.
He hates baseball,
He doesn't like baseball.
and he's like, fuck, he's like legend.
Yeah.
He's like a legend from Legends.
certainly not a hero.
So is that player real?
Oh,
I want to know.
Heroes
is that
live forever.
Is that
but
real?
legends never die?
Is that a
I
real
got
He was
baseball
so
player?
fucking good in that movie. He was so
What?
good in it,
so
dude.
good.
Is that a real baseball player who he portrayed?
I don't know the answer that to be yes, but I would hazard a guess, a leap in my mind to think that it was a professional baseball player. Yes.
I'm gonna go with no.
So Benny pickles the beast. We get the ball back. The murderer's row ball is returned, and then we have this iconic moment. Flash forward into the future. Benny the Jet Rodriguez. So here's my disappointment. Benny the Jet Rodriguez was a pinch runner.
No.
After a long career.
Oh, he's had a long career.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
I'm pissed at you for that.
Yeah, I have different.
No.
upset
I
reasons
think
of that
because
whole
it
It sounded like he played for 20 years.
his legendary status came from him running down the beast, right? He's legend still for his speed and his ability to steal. And basically, what better way to mirror the youth than doing basically the same exact thing, stealing third, which is this. impressive-
How would the story have changed if he had just hit a triple or if he had got to third base? A
Because
pinch
if you know
runner, bro.
base-
A pinch
stealing
runner.
home,
Wait,
stealing
Yeah,
home.
the story takes place in 1962, right?
Yeah.
The movie's playing and happening in what,
93.
1993? So you got to think this guy's been playing over for fucking
He's
20
20
years of
years.
baseball.
I understand
20
all of that.
seasons.
I'm just telling you right now, nobody would pinch run for a guy at third base.
Yes, they would. If you know that he's going to steal home.
The other thing was, it didn't look
If
like the
he's
damn
that jet,
It's like Brian Roberts. It's like Brian
Jet.
Roberts.
He's the jet,
The
yo.
other thing was,
Let's say he's lost a step or
like,
two.
as instantly as a pitcher and the whole defense team, why are they pitcher running somebody out of third? He's trying to try to steal home. Everyone just play up.
Yeah,
and
it's like, can you telegraph it anymore?
yeah, it's like, geez, guys, what
I
the
hate it
hell's
when
going
you
on?
see the fans like going crazy and you're like, okay, that's a night game. Stop it.
The other thing
so
also,
full of shit. You
the
could've
game.
spiced it,
I don't know if
sliced
the
it
game
better.
ended. Like the game, I always thought the game ended, but they kept playing a little bit
Yeah.
afterwards. I was like, was this just a regular like fifth inning pitch run?
No,
Like
he won the game. It was a walk-off.
In like August.
Or should we say a runoff?
it wasn't even a playoff game. It was just a
It was
regular
April.
August game.
His preseason,
The
probably.
jet lives forever, guys. And that brings us to the interval review. Now it's time in the podcast
why
where
your
each
picture's
of the
right.
hosts
Wow, that was a
provides
walk-off
his
bash
score
right there.
on the following scale. Eddie, can you please provide the following scale?
Oh my God,
Please.
Brandon, that's why we're pitchers.
Please.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
0, the perfect movie. You don't need shit to enjoy it. 1, a feel-good first cocktail. 2, a happy buzz. 3, you're gonna Uber or lifting home. 4, a rough morning walk of shame. 5, you blackout, shit-faced, spring break drunk. Gentlemen, let's start with Sean.
All right.
Yeah.
So
Good call.
first, I have a note here in my notes that this movie can be viewed on Disney Plus, and I think that's important for our viewing audience.
In our new day and age, where can you see this movie
Yeah,
for,
we're going to try to add that earlier in the
subscription-free.
podcast, but I forgot. But
Well,
so-
how about this? How about you just pause, watch the movie. Hey, welcome back.
Yeah.
Now you can hear our following score.
Welcome back to 3.5 Gentlemen, season 3.
Okay, so I sat down and watched this movie, like I said, with parents of some friend, a good friend from college, and I'm listening to her just get excited and remember, and we kept pausing and talking about when I was in Little League, when her son was in Little League. This movie transports you back to when you were a kid. It makes you feel so much like you want to have one more summer of your childhood playing with your friends. And for that, it's super powerful. We can get into why it's not the perfect movie, and we can argue about different aspects of the movie.
Can we?
We can't, because this movie makes you feel something special. This captures a moment in history, a moment in your childhood where you can kind of look back and just smile. I've been struggling with this score a lot because I really wanted to give it a 0, and I don't think I can out of good conscience because of what I've given other movies. So
You are a 0 whore.
I am a 0 horse.
Yes.
So I think I'm going to give it a 0.5. And I believe that this movie is, if I was going to set out as a filmmaker or look at our mandate, how movies have impacted how how movies are made today, this is the recipe. Let's let people feel this feeling over and over and over again. This is why you go to the movies. So for me, it's a 0.5.
Eddie.
All right, so I won't be. Everything you said is really accurate. Finding this movie, the grade is really hard. I am not a 0.
You're not interested in zeros.
Uh,
Sean's a whore. You're not even interested
I know,
in it.
and that's good. I mean,
You
it's
have
hard
class.
it's hard to get with me. So, but
I am
that,
the pretty woman.
that being said, this movie is freaking amazing, and you need to go see it with your family, even by yourself if you just want to
And
enjoy
it is family friendly,
It's a-
so fuck everybody else.
Go fuck everyone.
Oh, sorry for all the language that we gave, but it's but there's so many different. I could watch this movie, and there's so many different parts that I just want to watch with my children. And
Yeah.
Even Selena and I, we could just watch this with just a date night movie. We enjoy this. Also, to play baseball, to show my kids that yes, you can have fun with baseball. A whole bunch of other different aspects of the game and how to practice, and you can put so many different aspects in this. I love the story. This is a story about children and their imaginations, and this movie holds up to my standard of movies, like how Sean was saying. You don't see movies like this written out of nowhere, and it's a hard movie to ever change a channel when you see this on TV. And because of that, I'm giving this a 0.75. Brandon.
All right. So I'm going to do something I don't normally do, and that is I wrote something, just a little bit, and I'm going to read it. And so this is a movie that captures childhood. It doesn't matter if you grew up in the early 60s or if you saw this movie and grew up when it came out in 1993, or if you're just new to the world and you're just seeing this movie for the first time now in 2020, 2021. It's a movie of what childhood is, and more importantly, what childhood should be. And I think that is something that is unfortunately lacking, not only in entertainment and media nowadays, but just literally in living. And I'm not going to preach about cell phones and computers and tablets and TV, but the idea of being a kid, going outside, getting your knees dirty, getting in trouble, and just enjoying the world around you is something that I think that our world is missing, and it would be great to recapture that. And if this movie can in any way inspire kids to just go out and play baseball, football, basketball, kick a soccer ball around, I don't care. Just go out and fly a damn kite. I love it because it brings me back to when I and we were growing up at the same time. Like you said, Sean, we grew up and we were the same age of the actors when this movie came out. This is a movie that I don't care what I'm doing. If I see that it's possibly on, I'm stopping and I'm watching it. This is a movie that it speaks to my love of baseball, which I've had my entire life, my love of movies, and my love of goodness being out there in the world, even when you can't really expect it to be there. And I unfortunately cannot agree with either of you guys. This is, and I'm not a whore, but I'm definitely slutty. This is a 0. This is a perfect movie for me. This and Field of Dreams are hand in hand.
Empire Strikes Back.
Okay, I'm going with baseball. Okay.
Sorry.
So listen, if Darth decided to throw a ball at Luke and he hit it with the lightsaber, then yeah, I could lump that in. But you know
Clearly,
what? I
you've never
can't.
seen Toy Story 2. Jeremiah.
Wait, I didn't get my little sign off.
Like, is this picture fake? This is a fake picture.
great
I'm
movie.
so upset that this is a fake picture.
What are you doing? I'm literally giving my score. I'm spilling my heart.
You gave it already.
Fine, it's a damn 0, Jer.
Sorry, Brandon.
There's no point for me to say any type of words right now because everyone pretty much explained exactly why this movie is, no pun intended, it's a league of its own. Okay.
Oh, another great movie. Okay.
Not a 0. Not a 0.
That's a point for...
It is the same picture. They just cropped him out.
What do you? Listen to Jer.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
I don't even know what he's talking about,
I don't
folks.
either.
I don't know what to say, man. Like this is that one rare movie that I put it on to just walk away from this fucking reality of this world and everything like that. I think this movie is fantastic. I think people should be able to reminisce these movies here that are just one of a kind, man. When you think of The Sandlot, you think of movies that seriously kind of started the whole thing of baseball movies. Without Sandlot, you don't have Rookie of the Year. You don't have Angels in the Outfield. You don't have fucking Little Big League and everything like that. This movie is so fucking good.
Seriously, you don't even have all these other ones. The Rookie. Or
You know,
all baseball movies, to be honest.
This movie just does something for my heart, and it just makes me think about not just baseball, but that one summer. We all have that one summer that was just the best fucking summer in our lives that we just kind of keep for the rest of our days and shit like that. And this movie does that for some reason, man. For me, it's not a perfect movie. It's not a perfect movie.
damn it, I'm gonna
It's
leave
not
it
a
alone.
0. It's not a 0. But fuck, man.
0.01.
You know, I think it's fucking great. This is a one drink for me, guys.
Oh, it's...
Oh, okay.
It's fucking fantastic. I could watch this movie just like what you said, Brandon. Anytime it's on, and it's on Disney Plus, by the way, I could watch it any fucking time if I want to. It's that good.
All right, Ed, when we take that 0.5, 0.75, 0, and 1, and we divide it by 4, what does that get The Sandlot as a score?
Yes, thank you, Brandon, for doing the math. I was fat fingering the number here.
The calculator?
That would have been
A little bit high. So 0.5625. That's 0.5625. So that puts us where?
So where does it put us on the list there, Brandon? Or Jeremy?
Well, it actually is it 0.56?
0.5628.
Okay, then it ties with the fourth movie.
2.5.
What?
2.5.
5625.
2.5.
Oh, 5625?
Yeah, that counts.
Okay.
Oh,
So
no, it says a 5. I just can't read my writing.
No.
It's okay. So yeah, we're right.
So
there.
we're
tied.
We're
now
tied. We're tied in the fourth spot with Sound of Music as a 0.56.
So what's better than the
So
Sandlot?
the first movie is Empire Strikes Back at 0.06. Second is Field of Dreams. Jurassic Park, Godfather, they come in at 0.25. Perks of Being a Wildfire is a 0.5, and this comes right below it. And right above The Joker, The Shining, The Breakfast Club,
So it's
Jaws.
tied with The Sound of Music.
Yes, it
at
is.
0.56.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
It's a top 10-5. It's a top 5 film, man.
So
Yeah, it is.
I'm not going to lie. I feel like a lot of the movies that we've done this season have really ranked on our chart here.
They're high.
They're high.
What you're saying then, Sean, is we need to pick some real shit movies.
Well, I mean, if we, yeah.
Brandon,
Well,
you
you
have
know
a
what
lot
we
of
could do?
those.
We could do the one that is on your
Well,
shirt right now.
no,
We could do Jurassic
we'll
World.
just
That's a
let-
7.
Well,
Brandon-
let's put it this way.
Let's just
put
pick.
it this way.
No, let's have Brandon.
Let's just have Brandon make
Let's have
picks.
Brandon make a movie.
Yeah.
Because a lot of these
Brandon,
movies
make a movie.
Well, I believe we're going to be going to the 2000s, right?
Actually,
Yes,
the next movie we do will be a 2000s
So I
movie.
promise you this, folks. They're not going to be that much of a great
We're
score.
getting fresh. We're getting fresh.
So I will say that we hit a pretty big milestone a couple of weeks ago, and I think Jeremy would like to tell us about that a little
Well,
bit.
we went over a certain amount of numbers. I don't want to give details about that number, but just think how big that fucking number is. I mean, I'm just saying, that is something that we only been doing this for about a year and change. We went on a little hiatus. We were actually quarantined here once in a while, there and there.
Yeah, this is only our 63rd movie or something like that.
Something like that. We're very kind of young and fresh, We still got a little young wolf pup and everything. However, this is fucking awesome. Thank you guys so much for just downloading and just sharing it with your friends and things like that.
Please
I
continue
mean,
to do that.
The whole
We'd
premise
love it.
of this podcast was getting with your close best friends, have a drink, and talk about your favorite
having
fucking movies.
fun, yeah.
That's it.
Well, that said, I think that I put my paper away. If you enjoyed our review or are a fan of the podcast, we ask that you please subscribe wherever you're listening and give us a 5-star review on iTunes, as physical reviews are super important. You can also find us on Instagram at The Gentleman Podcast. At the .gentleman podcast.
The dot does mean a lot.
The dot means a lot. You can visit our website at thegentlemanpodcast.com, and we would really love to hear from you. Tell us how we're doing, if we're doing bad, if we're doing good.
Tell us movies you'd like to see.
Please let us know if Brandon's doing bad.
Yeah, and we
They do.
Yeah, he's the number one source of negativity.
Not a surprise there.
Negative one?
No, I don't know what to tell you. Well, no, they would not bash the host.
I love you.
Obviously.
I love you, Brandon.
I love you too, Ed.
Thank you very much for listening, and cheers, gentlemen.
Cheers, gentlemen.
You have to listen.
You can't trust me at all.
I thought that was a really
You
good
can't
one.
trust the host?
That's a really good one.